Your boy, the Masked Man, one of the greatest anime creators on the entire platform. I think this guy's a genius when it comes to making these videos. And it says, I didn't think these Manhwa could be this good. Now, I don't know what a Manhwa is. You're going to have to let me know what that is in chat or the comments or whatever. While you're down there, make sure to like and hit that subscribe button. Let's get me to 80 giggity schmoodle subscribers. Anyways, let's get right into this Moana adventure.
On a quest for knowledge, a young man travels up a frozen hellscape to encounter an eldritch being. Some say a wizard, a grand wizard, that will grant the wish of any—
Bro's going to check out and talk to the grand wizard? Eldritch being? I don't think you know what you mean when you talk about an eldritch being grand wizard. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, Lovecraft was notoriously against people of a certain shade. Now, what do you call the leader of the biggest hate group of the people of those certain shades? Grand wizards. He doesn't know. He doesn't know what he's leading to, but I do.
any who dare enter its chambers. But what the victim does not realize is that—
We're good. The guy didn't have a pointy-headed cloak. We're fine. If his cloak would have been pointy-headed, we might have been in trouble.
the wish comes with a lifetime of madness, as a sadistic scale that balances their deepest desires. A mix of self-discovery on the journey to the peak of the mountain, and then finding truth in the mad horrors of what we do not understand. You may learn the secrets of the universe, but in turn you can never close your eyes when trying to sleep. The fate of the MC is not one I would wish even on my worst enemy. This is not a manhwa that I'm recommending, but my story as to how I got these recommendations from a friend, and then pulled an all-nighter to get this video made. Here,
bro's friend was like, listen, dude, you need to read these. And he's like, why are you literally, like, standing over me while I'm taking a crap? He's just pooping naked. He's naked pooping with only his mask on. And some dude just standing over him, just morbidly obese, like, playing with their own nipples. You need to read this Moana. You need to read Moana. Read Moana. And he's just, like, crying because somebody broke into his house, dripping wet, obese, and naked, yelling at him to read this, and they then forced him misery style, Stephen King noted, to finish this video by the morning time.
are the manhwa actually worth your time though? I cannot beg for mercy, only choke on trapped screams. These are the opening words for Mime, ongoing and only at 5 chapters following a failure of a mime. This story begins tragically with this mime trying to stop these men from beating a woman in an alley, only to be killed himself. While the man in the morgue that works for a crime family tends to his body, he wakes up and kills the individuals responsible for his death, putting a target on his back. I cannot stress how much my edgy little heart loves this. For starters, a completely silent main character like a Charlie Chaplin film is such a sick concept given that it really draws you in and makes you pay attention to the facial expressions. On top of that, the powers being him pantomiming what he's doing to his opponents is again visually a delightful thing to see. And
basically what happened was they watched the Joker one too many times. They're like, what if the Joker was actually a fucking mime? He was just a little French and a little gay, and we made him a mime.
Extremely unique and memorable, and then to see it unfold on top of an intense and non-stop action gritty story, I love this.
Dude, this is just somebody who watched The Crow and The Dark Knight way too many fucking times, and that's fine. I'm like not hating on you because of it. I think it looks cool. I like The Crow. I like the Joker, but come on, man, come on. We know what you're doing here.
Technically doesn't count as a manhwa, but you can read this on Webtoon Canvas, and I need more. Out of everything I'm going to recommend, this has the least amount of reads, and I am not okay with that. I made the mistake of rereading Pun Pun and Shamo within the same week and a half, 2 weeks. Then I watched Madrid lose 2 more times to Barcelona. I want to kill my— For those lows in life, a good upbeat song or even a good upbeat read can go a long way. 39 chapters and ongoing, using my cooking skills in a Muram world. Follows an unlucky man unable to get a job as a Chinese chef that is isekai'd— wait, don't skip— into another world, and
dude, Mama's is okay. We're finding out what this is because I'm massively stupid and I think that it's important. Is a general Korean term for comics. Oh, they're Korean comics. They're Korean comics. Okay, well there we go. We got the answer. They're not the regular comics. They're Korean. I actually don't hate isekais, by the way. I think that I actually watch way more isekais than I probably should. I like get into the slop of it. There's nothing I like to put on other than isekais when I like edit videos because I cannot pay attention that much and I already know what's going on.
He starts a restaurant in ancient China, which, considering he is obsessed with Chinese culture and history, is insanely lucky because he could have woken up in, like, I don't know, say 1933-ish Germany.
Or Japan. If he would have woken up in like 1933 Japan, it wasn't much better, to be honest with you. I mean, if he woke up in China in the 40s, bro, when China, like when Japan was like trying to conquer everything, people forget that Japan was like an absolute monster during the 40s as well.
One of the legendary families in ancient China after putting to good use his modern cooking knowledge and skills, as well as just modern knowledge in general, like with allergies. Pretty straightforward when it comes to this one. Great comedy via references and timing, and overall it's just a fun, relaxing breath of fresh air. Do you like gladiators? How about necromancers? Boom! Combine them. You're welcome. Or, thanks should go to the creator of The War on Corpses. You might recognize the art.
Dude, I have this problem all the time. I go to my local graveyard and dig up some skeletons and then have like a fight club. I mean, it's really boring unless I jump in and punch the corpses. But sometimes they reanimate and fight each other. That's usually when I get the most popcorn enjoyment out of it. It's just kind of a little weird when I'm just sitting there punching corpses, though. I would say that it is a little bit unsettling.
Art style if you watch the previous recommendation, Corpse Knight Gunther. This series is ongoing and at 13 chapters, introducing a city of necromancers that has a tournament to see who is the best. The fame, the glory, and the validation that it brings is the desire of our MC, who is born in trash and is treated as such. After countless failures of necromancing, he finds a body that also has been labeled as trash, and feeling that connection chooses to take a risk and bring this one to life. On top of loving the art style and action, I like the premise of the series and how both, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even gonna attempt to try and pronounce this one because I feel like there are 5 different ways. I'm not gonna play that guessing game.
The Schmiggle Biggle Wiggle comic. It's the Schmiggle Biggle Wiggle comic. It's a good one. It's a good one because it's the Schmiggle Biggle Wiggle one.
But if any of you know, put in the comments. And Eleonora, they need each other since he helps control her right leg, and he also knows the strategy and history of the fighters they go up against, creating a fun dynamic with 2 opposing personalities that have a lot of room to grow. There also seems to be some interesting characters besides those 2 that I'm really excited to see the more of. So this is one that I'm personally going to be following very closely. I don't have many ways to explain this other than Souls the Manhwa. Not necessarily because it's a dark fantasy that explains things via more environmental storytelling, but if not because the main character is like those of us who picked up a Souls game for the first time, encountering that one boss, dying over and over and over and over again. The Night Only Lives Today is ongoing and at 56 chapters, and follows a hardworking main character that actually keeps some of the initial intrigue of the premise as it goes on, dying over and over again to learn and become better. But to the point where dying seems to become like an addiction for him, a necessary part of the process he learns to embrace. So it's like all you need is kill, or re-zero if it was good. I'm kidding, hey.
Dude, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real about ReZero real quick. ReZero's first 2 seasons, this is the most insufferable little cuck to ever exist. He sucks so bad. I kept like seeing that, like, because again, I put isekais on when I edit because there's something I can turn my brain off. And I kept trying to enjoy ReZero, and then one day, I think it was like the 3rd season or some shit, he clicked and stopped being a fucking little tool bag loser, and I was like, holy shit, this show got good, and ReZero ends up getting good. But it takes so long for this guy to not be the most annoying dickbag to ever exist. Bro's a diarrhea salad for the longest time.
Look, I'm training you for those group chat arguments. Don't fall for the rage bait. In all seriousness, I'm personally not as big on these types of series in general, and I'm not sure if it's because of the overexposure to this type of premise, constantly being in the same fantasy setting within the same style of art, whether it's the character designs for most of these things, or maybe I just don't like the premise itself to begin with, overexposed or not. Regardless, because it isn't my cup of tea, doesn't mean you shouldn't read it for yourself. Pearl Boy Ignite the Dawn and Dear Zero need more chapters. That has nothing to do with this video. I was just paid by friends.
This is just like these are both gay romance like comics. So if you're really into dudes like plowing other dudes. You like some dudes piping other dudes' buttholes. This is for you. This is definitely some boy love shit.
Say this, so I guess that's the sponsor. Anyways, Kiss Wood is the next recommendation.
Jesus Christ. No! How do you flash up 2 gay boy romance mangas and then the next one you talk about is Kiss Wood, bro? You know they were already doing enough kissing of wood in the last 2 mangas. It's for this to even doesn't even need to exist. They be kissing all the wood that's necessary in those other 2.
Some of you will never know the brilliance of what I just did, but that's okay.
Oh, I got you, motherfucker. I got you. I know what you fucking did. You put up some gay boy super romance mangas, and then you put up a thing called Kiss fucking Wood, which is a reference to some sucking of some massive wiener, bro. Getting splinters on the back of your fucking throat.
Completed in 34 chapters, it follows an old uncle that likes to tend to his garden, but it seemed to have become negligent.
By the way, this is why I love The Masked Man. This came out 3 days ago, but 3 days ago as of me doing the stream. But when I look at this, bro, the dude like gets me, dog. The dude gets me a little bit. He knows to throw in those low tier god references, and I'm like, oh, low cal energy. Do we got some lowly cow? Not lowly. Let's step the fuck back with that bullshit, all right? I don't wanna have to fucking defend myself on Twitter against some bullshit like that. But some lol cow energy, some of my fucking annoying weird internet obsession bullshit, and then he hits me like with some funny fucking sexual references. I like this guy. The dude fucking gets me.
Of the human relationships he has, in particular with his niece. But one day he finds himself in hell after someone killed him via arson to get rid of his garden. In this hell, you find those that have mistreated the trees, so the Lorax has really seemed to have taken it up a notch. And now the uncle has to escape this massive forest to make it back to the living and waking world. This shit was beautiful. It felt like an 80s animated film that makes you cry with that one specific soundtrack damn near every time. I think the way it handled the twists and explored the characters in such a brief amount of time while giving a satisfying journey felt like I read something that was 100 chapters and not just 34. If you like emotional dramas, then you don't need to look further. Seriously, the art style, the way that the series was paced, all of the different emotional highs. Yeah, I just really like this one, and I would highly recommend it. If you happen to enjoy this video so far, consider liking and subscribing.
Well, same thing for me. If you like the fact that I jump into these little cum goblin videos and say things like cum goblin, or the fact that I like misting my cum across the entire internet, and also your mom's inner thigh, make sure to subscribe and like all my videos, and also just be a fucking simp to my channel. I want you to show up to every one of my live streams and talk about how much you love me and how I have the perfect micro penis, and because I have the perfect micro penis, my intellect just must be bigger and stronger than yours.
Want to hit 500,000 by the end of the year, so consider this my way of pestering.
I want to hit 500,000 by the end of the year. Now, is that possible? No. But let's make it fucking happen, guys. I want you guys to fucking push me out into the algorithm. I want you to call me Slopling Gold and fucking Mick Slopperton and be like, this guy fucking sucks. But honestly, I want to see him spread his asshole for likes even more. I know he's like gonorrhea covered and full of super AIDS, but we need to get him a million subscribers.
Earlier, I mentioned how I struggled getting invested into manhwa like The Knight Who Only Lives Today, but one that I think broke that trend was Surviving Romance. Completed in 100 chapters, this series was described to me as super meta and breaking a lot of the norms with romance and the regression trope. I think the early part of the story is such a sick experience to read blind, so if you don't want to know more about it, then skip ahead to the next segment, although this...
We're not pussies here. Oh, spoilers, it might ruin for me, it might spoil. Shut the fuck up, don't be a pussy, dude. I fucking hate when people are like, but these spoilers. Grow the fuck up. If you're like that upset, you're gonna be fine. You can still read something, you can still hear a spoiler and read something and still find it profound. Don't be a little fucking, wussy pussy.
Might be the last segment in the video, but yeah, you could just skip. Now, for those that stayed, this series seems like a standard romance story, but then turns into a horror survival, where the main character dies over and over again, trying to save her love and achieve a happy ending. What's really sick about this series is the presentation of her personality and how she views others, seeing them as dark shadows until one of them becomes a person of enough importance, going into a very different direction than I thought the story was going to go down within the first chapters. I feel like too many series have characters that die over and over and go through hell, like training or, again, just dying that many times. And instead of growing as characters, they just lack any sort of character.
Dude, the biggest problem with ReZero is he fucking took so long to make character development at all. He just was a whiny little bitch. And he's like, why does this game happening? And it's like, dude, you went through this like 400 times. I think you know what's going on. Stop being a little fucking cuck.
Whatsoever. The psychological aspect is really well explored in the series while breaking any sort of expectations I had for a romance. Seriously, I did not expect it to turn into a zombie survival series. Like, I didn't look at the tags, I didn't look at nothing. Like, I was just like, oh, okay, this is what we're handling. But again, the psychological horror aspects is by far my favorite, on top of doing so many things I would never have expected a romance series to do, having read quite a few when it comes to manga and manhwa. 100%.
Bro, secretly like the biggest fucking like romance simp manga guy ever. He's reading some of the most sussy wussy shit on the side. He's reading like my little teenage romance, middle school suck and fuck. I'm just kidding. We're not talking about Vosh here, guys. It's a joke. Calm down, you fucking weirdos that think that I'm actually calling him what you think I'm calling him. I'm not saying he's Vosh.
And a must read. If you have anything you would like to see me cover in a future video, the best way is to let me know in the comments down below. And I'm also making a second channel, particularly about professional wrestling. And so if that interests you as well, then stay tuned and check out the community posts, because I will definitely be announcing it there and in the next video.
All right, dude. I mean, that was a banger. I don't really know shit about Manhwa. Manhwa is just such a weird thing. I think I'll even title this, what the hell is a manhwa? And people call it a clickbait, but I don't really care. But let's check out his channel real quick, because I want to see if he community tabbed this up, dude. Let's see if he community tabbed it. Should I cover what should I cover next for It Deserved Better series? Dude, I don't know. I've only watched D Gray Man. I've only watched a bit of that. I haven't finished that motherfucker yet, though. I've been, like, trying, dude. I've been trying. It looks like he has not put up a post about his new wrestling channel. I don't even care about wrestling, but I'd watch this jabroni talk about wrestling all day, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I would watch him do it. You gave me just an excuse to watch The Masked Man, even if it's about like Hulk Hogan's like pulled anus and his like ball sack or his balls inverting back into his body. I would watch 15 minutes of him talking about Hulk Hogan's ball sack. But that's all I got for that one, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.